This is Jonathan Agoff here for Pro Boxing Fans. Delighted to be joined by Johnny Nelson. Johnny, 2 days since Joyce and Dubois, Joe Joyce scoring a 10th round stoppage over Daniel Dubois. What was your reaction?
Um, I wasn't surprised he won because I probably gave him one of the few that gave him the nod to pull the fight off. My reaction is it shows how naive, how much more learning Dubois has to do. His reputation has been built on his offensive fight and how effective he is. Unfortunately, his defensive fight was exposed. So what happens is, and I can remember being in the gym and you can spar with the guys that are a bit smaller, but the problem is when you come up against somebody that can hit your back and push you back, then you've got to be able to work on that. Dubois had breezed through so far as a professional, and when he gave it, him giving it was enough. The thing is when he got it back, and it's not that he was catching a beating, because he wasn't. He just caught a lesson. He was beaten by a simple basics of a jab, and constantly kept walking to the same shot, not getting out of the way of the shot, devised a way to slip the shot. He was just intent on his offensive style, which I get, which makes him exciting, which is why he's been so successful to this point. My worry is the aftermath of that fight, how it's going to affect him. Now, if he gets through it, it'll make him a better fighter. If he doesn't get through it, it'll affect every aspect of his life, not just the boxing. Because boxing is one of those few sports where everybody's your boss. Everybody has an opinion about how good you are and if you did well or if you did bad. And you don't meet your boss. You meet your boss on the day you go into work and get your bollocking. Whereas with the fans, you don't meet them all in one day. It's never ending. So fans will say, I remember that fight, you were crap there or you were good there. So Dubois, it's some massive learning and some massive character, a test of character in regards to how he deals with this. The fundamental basics were missing, and he got exposed. He just got exposed. I thought Dubois, Joyce's jab wasn't fast. It was nothing special about it. It was just strong, and he just kept letting it go. Stuck to the basics, stuck to the plan. And when Dubois put the pressure on, he still stuck to the basics, stuck to the plan. And eventually, it was like water on stone. You keep dripping water on stone, it'll start to make an impression. It'll start to show. And that's basically what was happening with the jab. You can't, with the big, especially the heavyweights, you can't be giving away shots freely in the heavyweights. And my worry in this fight initially was for Joe Joyce, because even though I thought he'd win, I kept saying my worry is he gets hit too much. That's my only worry, because they're heavyweights. And I think he did an excellent job. We've got to give credit where credit's due. We're talking about what Dubois didn't do or couldn't do. Let's talk about what Joyce did do. Joyce was a seasoned amateur. He's done well as a professional. He's come through the ranks. Now, if right's right, he should be in Dubois' position and be number 2 behind Oleksandr Usyk for the WBO title.
I mean, Joe Joyce, a lot of people, as you say, not underestimate him, but didn't believe he could pull this one off. What does it say about Joe Joyce's chin? Because especially early on, Daniel Dubois, we saw the early onslaught in the first couple of rounds, especially in the early stages of the first couple of rounds. What does it say about Joe Joyce's chin, or did we already know that?
Joe Joyce has got an amazing chin, but it doesn't give him a free pass to go out there and think, it don't matter what you throw at me, I'm going to get you. Everybody can get hit and knocked and switched out. Joe Joyce he's got a tough chin. Some heavyweights, when you touch them on the chin, they've shown the vulnerability of a lightweight. Some heavyweights, so they can hold a shot as well as give a shot. In regards to Joyce, he showed that's one of his things he says he's blessed with. But there's a reason why he was so successful in the amateurs and as has been in the pros. And I think this was overlooked by Dubois fans, Dubois promoter, management team, because they thought, and Frank Warren's a great promoter, and he takes risks that usually pay off. This risk just didn't pay off. Timing was was not right. And I feel for Dubois because of the manner of the stoppage, because there was like a delay, like 2-second delay, like he got hit in the eye and then stopped and thought, and then went down on the knee and wait for the count to finish and got up. It was calculated. It wasn't, and it seemed calculated. It seemed like it wasn't an instinctive move. And yes, Kell Brook has done the same. What's the difference? The difference is Kell Brooks. It wasn't like he was going one way, and he was bang on it, and he caught a shot, and then he came back, caught another shot. Dubois got caught with a jab, bam. So all of a sudden, from it being really positive for him, and some of it had him ahead on points, the first time he got hit back properly, where he was to be tested, is when he went down, and when he stopped to say, "Whoa, I can't handle this." So. And it seems like, so he's going to get criticised for the style it's gone in. And it's very easy for people that have never boxed to say he quit. It's very easy for people that have never boxed and got in the ring to say that the kid's he hasn't got any heart. And it's also very easy for fighters to say, nah, I'd go out, you'd have to knock me out cold, I'd have to be out cold. I don't believe that, because what you do is you do what comes instinctively. And instinctively, if someone's hitting you in your head and they break a bone in your head, instinctively, you're going to, whoa. You're not going to say, nah, I'm going to go out my shield. It's easy to say that. I think that's proper bullshit. It's like, I suppose it's like an Alsatian dog attacking you, and it sticks its teeth into you. Automatically, you're going to try and whack that dog and get it off. There's no way you can, if the smart thing to do is stay still, let it sink its teeth in so it doesn't rip your hand off. But instinctively, you try and grab it back. The bite's even worse. And so he did what was instinctive. What most people would do instinctively if you got hit in the eye socket and it breaks. So, and again, in our sport, because it's such a macho sport and it's just not the done thing, he's going to take a lot of stick. And he did quit. And looking at it, I'd probably say the likes of Kell Brook did when he got hit in the eye and got popped. Because instinctively he said, look, you broke something here. This is dangerous. My life's more important than this game here. So, because people are going to bring that up. Well, why didn't you say that with Brook, or why didn't you say that with whoever? It happens. I just think it's very hard and harsh for people to write him off, Dubois off, because of that. He'll regret it. He'll regret the style of it. He'll regret that quick decision. But we only know if it happens to us. You can only know if it just happens to you. I don't believe. Well, maybe fighters believe. If it happened to me, I want to be out cold, out in my face. I don't believe that. I think in reality, when it happens to you, you think, "Whoa, this is serious, and this is more important than this." So that Dubois did something where he could probably fight another day. If it went worse, he could have lost his eyesight. It went worse, he could have lost his career. He's just got his pride's going to be hurt more than anything else, and he gets through that. Then, because he can fight, he's a decent boxer, but it was too early for him.
So what I was going to ask you, as a guy, a former fighter, former world champion, you've been in the ring. What's going through a fighter's mind when that sort of injury takes place?
Okay, so you get injured in many ways. You get hit, you get winded, you get buzzed. You hit someone, you hurt your hand, you hit and you get caught, whatever. You can translate that. You can computerize that in your head and think, right, this is this, and you put everything in a box. When all of a sudden there's nothing prepares you for somebody breaking a bone in your head. So it's a completely different experience, feeling, and it's a completely different something that you've not been through, that is serious and is dangerous. So all of a sudden, I suppose if he got used to that kind of stuff, then he's thinking, all right, nobody's going to get used to that. Nobody's going to get used to having a bone broken in your head. Because that's basically, it sounds brutal what I'm saying, Dan, but that is basically what's happened, according to reports. And so instinctively, you're going to do you're going to do what comes instinctively. And if people say, well, what kind of fighter are you, Johnny? You're a coward for saying that, so be it. But I get where he's at. I just feel for him because people will have an initial knee-jerk reaction and make judgment. So it's just one of those things.
How crucial could this be? You said that it's going to be a test of his character to see if he can come back. He is only 23 years old. It's one defeat in his whole career. How beneficial could this be long-term, providing obviously the injury is not too serious, although it does sound like he suffered a broken eye.
It's better off that happening there at this point here, because if you're not the finished article, or you've got more to learn, you need to learn all your mistakes before all your eggs in one basket are in one basket. So therefore, if it happens, it's going to happen now. Can you imagine it happening at a world level? Can you imagine boxing for the world title, and it happened at the world title level? He's still got ambitions. He's still got dreams. He still can create excuses in head for why he'll do better next time and why he still has a drive. But when you reach the top and you realise when you get to the top, you're not good enough, where's your ambition? Where's your dream? Where's your focus? Where's your drive? So he'll learn from this. And again, I'm quite sure there's many fights that have been quoted where fighters have lost early in their career and then come on and end up learning from it. I did it. I was one of them. David Haye got stopped by Cole Thompson in his 10th round. He was the heir apparent. Look what David Haye did. And so I'm quite sure if I go back in history, keep looking at fighters, we'll find that. It's just the aftermath, the shock, the reaction of people, that the words that will hurt more than anything else.
Joe Joyce now moves on to possibly a world title shot against maybe Oleksandr Usyk. Do you think that's the fight next for him, or would you like to see him maybe fight someone else before?
Well, deservedly, he deserves it. Remember, Dubois was in a position where he was the one that, if he won, was to fight Usyk if AJ gave up the WBO title. Yeah. So rightfully so, Joyce should be in that position. That's fair. It's fair. But we've also got to remember, Joyce and Usyk have fought each other in the amateurs, and Usyk beat him and beat him well. So how much has changed? And even though I rate Joe Joyce and I really rate Usyk, I think Joe Joyce is made for Usyk. So again, I can see where it's going. But you know what? I'm hopefully proved wrong. But fair's fair. He should have the crack if the crack becomes available.
Just lastly on this, if Daniel Dubois comes back, what sort of level of fighter do you think he should face to get himself back into the mix?
Well, he's clearly top of domestic mix, and that's where he could get himself back in the mix again and see who's around and see who's where in our UK top 5, top 10, top 6, and even on the European circuit. He's still, and this is his step up into the big boys league. So that's where he is, and Joe Joyce has proved he's beyond that. He's now British, Commonwealth, and European champion. So Joe Joyce, that's your gateway to fighting for a world title. That's your official pass to say, right, I'm one of you. I'm in your game. Some fighters are on a European level. Some fighters are on a Commonwealth or British level. Joe, with that performance, has showed he's definitely European level because he's proved it. Is Dubois? You don't know, and that's the question. The question mark's still there.
So you think he should fight someone domestically, or does he need that experience? Because what Sam Jones said before the fight was he didn't have that test, that Brian Jennings that Joe Joyce had. Does he need to fight someone like that?
Yes, without a doubt. But he needs his confidence building back up first. So why would you get a Brian Jennings or someone like that that's going to give you nightmares to get back in there again? Because he himself, trust me, I've been in his shoes where people called you every name under the sun, and if enough people say it, you start to believe it. So he himself will think, "Well, am I a quitter? Well, have I jumped? I'm a jumper." Because if you're a fighter and when you get hit, you go down, and then you do it again, instinctively you will always do it every time the pressure's on. So now he's going to be asking himself the question: will I do that every time I fight? So he's got to get his confidence built back up. Every opponent that fights him from this point on will refer back to that, and their trainers will say he's a quitter. Keep the pressure on him, he'll quit. Every time he fights and commentators are talking about him, or every time he's in the newspapers, they will always mention this fight that he quit in. Not the fact that he came up against somebody that on paper he shouldn't have been able to beat anyway on paper. So this is going to be a mental job for him to, and that's why I say domestically, stay at domestic level, have a couple of domestic ones first to build your confidence back up again, to rub it out, get it out of your head, because you put him in with somebody that's like a Jennings or a former champion that's past his best but knows the ropes inside out. He'll twist him up. They'll twist him up and they'll think, nah, I don't want this. He's taking him off. What's important for Joe Joyce now is the matchmaking from this point on, and the people around him who can rebuild him. And it's going to be a tough job. It's going to be a tough job, but not an impossible job.
Mm. Well, I think we're finding out today if he needs surgery on the eye socket. So hopefully everything goes well with that. Moving on to this Friday night, Billy Joe Saunders returns against Martin Murray. Finally, that fight's on. What do you make of that defence for Billy Joe?
I think Billy Joe should handle that with relative ease. And again, it sounds like it's a probably big diss to Martin Murray. It isn't. I think we've just seen the best of Martin Murray, and Martin Murray's got an opportunity of springboard himself back in the mix again, to be considered again. So on a domestic level, it's a good shout. It's a good shout for Martin Murray, and but I think Billy has the beating of him, because you can see he's still hovering on the peripherals, waiting to see if he gets a crack at Wade, gets a crack at how Smith and Canelo go on and so forth. So it's a good fight. It's a decent fight.
What did you make of Canelo Alvarez choosing to face Callum Smith, and how big a chance do you give Callum going into that fight on December 19th?
Well, Callum Smith, I've always said he's not the finished article, and we've not seen that yet. But he's getting in there with a supreme box fighter, and so for Canelo picking him, wow, big shouts. But remember, Canelo always knew who was going to fight. He's probably had 3-4 months before his opponent knew. Smith knew it was him. So, and that makes a massive difference. Even though Smith had been ticking over training, for Smith, this needs to be the night he becomes the full fighter he can be. This needs to be that night, because again, he's not the finished article, but everything has to be right for him. Everything has to be. There's no hesitation. There's no learning. Otherwise, I can see Canelo creasing him up. I find Smith usually warms into a fight well, and when he starts letting the shots go, and the shots he can come back with. But sometimes he needs to have one tested before he lets that shot go. You can't afford to do that with Canelo. He's got to think instinctively, sharp, speed, fast, and power.
How crucial do you think his size could be in this fight? Do you think that's a key factor in Smith's favour, or is that going to suit Canelo more?
It can be a key factor. I always thought to myself, I'm not letting somebody smaller than me beat me, because you've got the height, you've got the reach, you've got the height, you've got the reach, you've got the movement. So and you can bang. So I think it's in Smith's favour. If Smith doesn't use all those tools to the best of his ability, then it's in Canelo's favour, because he's got a lot of body to walk down, to jump on, to crease up, to pressure, keep up close, make him try and fight on the inside. So it's a case of one fighter using his attributes to the best of his ability, and another fighter taking advantage of something that fighter is letting slip.
Two more fights. I just want to get your opinion on. In the early hours of Sunday morning, the return of Errol Spence, a big fight against Danny Garcia. What sort of test is this for Errol Spence? Do you think Danny Garcia is going to be capable of pulling this off?
It's a tough fight, and it's a tough ask for both fighters. It's not a given. The argument is between Spence and Crawford, who's the best out there. Spence doesn't want to be looking past Garcia, because Garcia will make him answer certain questions. So Spence cannot afford to look past him, but it'll be a tough fight. I think they expect Spence to win on points. It won't be pushover for him. He'll have to completely show a masterclass of performance to probably try and establish his argument for being the best between himself and Crawford.
You mentioned Terence Crawford. Obviously beat Kell Brook in 4 rounds a few weeks ago. What did you make of his performance?
I thought it was fine. He beat Kell with Kell's own shot. He switched, got him with a southpaw jab, and he did it in a very subtle way. Usually, I'm from a gym of switch hitters, and what happens is we're taught to, when you get in there, you beat an opponent or be beating them, and the opponent doesn't realise why they're getting hit, and that's because they see you come out as orthodox, and then you end up switching midway through the fight without realising it, and you're fighting them as southpaw, and you're beating them with southpaw. So I just think that Crawford did really, really well. He beat Kell with his own shot.
Do you expect Kell to come back and fight, or do you think that's the end of the road for Kell Brook?
It wouldn't surprise me if Kell walked away. It wouldn't surprise me at all, because he's done really well in his career. He's made a lot of money in his career, so it wouldn't surprise me. What else is there out there for him? There's no point in even having dreams or aspirations about the Khan fight, because I think that's past its sell-by date, and really you've got 2 fighters that are past the best.
And finally, Anthony Joshua, Kubrat Pulev, a few weeks to go. Do you expect Joshua to fight how he fought against Andy Ruiz, or do you expect the Joshua we saw against Povetkin, that sort of assault from Joshua?
I expect a massive improvement in Anthony Joshua. He'll adapt to what's in front of him, where he will box fight, and if he has to change style and adaptation, he will do. He learnt a big lesson with the Ruiz fight, and we saw another side to his artillery, his armoury, which he had to introduce, which he had to learn about, had to learn to do. So I think for Anthony Joshua, I expect him to again do something that we haven't seen: box fight well.
Okay, Johnny Nelson, thanks again for your time.
You're welcome.
You've been training today. How's Get On It going, your fitness program?
Yeah, it's good. It's going really well, and that's why I'm in a dressing gown. So it's not like I've just woken up. I've been working on. I managed to get a quick shower again, and the fitness program's going really well. It's I can't believe I didn't do it ages ago. But especially with being a retired fighter, it's something to keep my finger in and think I could do this. Well, kid myself anyway. So, but yeah, it's doing really well. Get involved in it. It's good.
How have you found the reaction? I spoke to Spencer a week or 2 ago. He said it's been really well received from the public.
I'm actually surprised, and again, it was Spencer's idea. I'm actually surprised how people have taken it up, because it's something that we do in the gym. It's something that we do to warm up, but it's something that is like so fundamentally important and can make such a massive difference. But yeah, it's doing really well. I'm happy with it.
Brilliant. And so last one, where can we get it?
Go online, Johnny Nelson. Get on it at johnnynelson.com, I think. But you can get it online. It's available there.
Brilliant. Johnny Nelson, thanks very much for your time. And we'll speak soon, hopefully. Appreciate it.